Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into some seriously fascinating source material that completely reframed how I understand true power, magnetism, and human presence. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately sensed who was actually in charge, regardless of what the organizational chart said? That invisible pull, that undeniable weight a person carries. Well, that's exactly what we are decoding today. We're going to break down the 5 pillars of human authority to see exactly how this kind of presence is built. So let me ask you something right off the bat. Does a title actually give you authority? We've been fed this idea for decades, right? You get the promotion, the corner office, the brass nameplate on your desk, and boom, you automatically command respect. But think about it for a second. We've all encountered someone with a very impressive title who absolutely no one respects. And on the flip side, we've all met someone with no official title at all who everyone naturally turns to when things get tough. A title might give you a mandate on paper, but it certainly does not give you true, resonant authority. Okay, let's dive into this. Rethinking human authority. The core premise we are exploring today is that authority isn't something handed to you by an external force. It isn't a badge you can pin to your lapel or a job description printed on your email signature. Notice how a title is just a fragile external badge. It can be bestowed upon you, and it can just as easily be taken away. True authority, however, is intrinsically generated from within. It's a deeply rooted internal state. And our source material reveals that human authority is actually composed of 5 very specific, cultivatable pillars that you can actively build within yourself. Let's start with the foundation, the internal engine. We're going to explore these 5 factors in their exact order of importance, starting deeply internal. Because, look, before you can project anything outward, you have to build your engine. Without this internal engine firing correctly, any outward display of power is just play acting. The absolute most crucial pillar here is confidence, but the source asks us to completely redefine what that word actually means if we're going to understand how true authority works. We are not talking about being the loudest person in the room, or bravado, or puffing out your chest. Scratch that entirely. The source breaks true confidence down into 3 incredibly specific, quiet elements. First up, feeling safe. True confidence is an internal state of absolute safety, regardless of the chaos outside. Second, not performing for others. When you have genuine authority, you don't need to put on a tap dance to prove your worth to the crowd. You just are. And third, having a generalized expectation that things will be okay. It's like this quiet, unshakable bedrock. You aren't loud because you literally don't need to be. You just expect the world to hold you. And that quiet internal state of safety is incredibly powerful for others to witness. Which brings us to the second pillar, discipline. And I love this definition. It's simply the ability to prioritize one's future self over one's present self. So the crucial takeaway here is that discipline is not a punishment. It is not about harsh self-deprivation or making yourself miserable just for the sake of the grind. It's actually a stark, super grounded choice. It's you looking at the person you want to be tomorrow, next week, or next year, and deciding that they matter more than your immediate comfort right now. It's an act of profound self-respect that builds a massive reservoir of internal strength. Moving right along to action and perspective. So, we've got the internal engine humming with confidence and discipline. Now we shift to how this strength manifests outwardly. How does the world actually begin to see and feel this authority? That outward shift starts with our third factor, leadership. But again, the source gets very distinct and focused here. Leadership isn't about micromanaging. It is fundamentally about certainty of self in both thought and action. It is being the steady hand on the wheel. It's making a decision, standing firmly in it, and projecting a sense of clear direction that others just naturally want to align with. And this brilliantly illustrates a huge distinction. Leadership, which is certainty of self, versus competence, which is being an expert. Our source explicitly shatters the myth that you have to be the smartest, most knowledgeable expert in the room to lead. You absolutely don't. Competence is knowing all the facts, right? But leadership is knowing who you are, where you are going, and acting with certainty. Let's be real. People don't just follow data. They follow certainty of self. Now we transition to the 4th pillar, gratitude. Often, we treat gratitude as this passive, polite feeling. Someone holds the door, you say thank you, you move on. But in the context of building human authority, gratitude is way more robust. It is an active, deliberate workout for your perspective. It's a mental mechanism that keeps your authority totally grounded and deeply connected to reality. The mechanics of this are pretty fascinating. The source describes it like a camera lens doing a dual action. First, zooming in on personal details,
This is finding deep gratitude in the tiny, granular moments of your day. And then seamlessly zooming out to the larger world around us, the massive, wild context of humanity and existence. This ability to slide up and down the scale of perspective, that is exactly what prevents your certainty from ever mutating into arrogance.
And now we arrive at the magnetic final pillar. We have covered confidence, discipline, leadership, and gratitude. Now we arrive at a capstone that is entirely different from the first four. I want you to just let this question hang in the air for a second. What is the most magnetic human quality? Think about it. If you had to guess the ultimate trait that makes someone utterly captivating, undeniable, and deeply authoritative, what would it be? Is it raw intelligence? Is it sheer willpower? Some kind of magical charisma? Nope, it is enjoyment. I know, right? This is the deeply counterintuitive secret revealed in our source material. Enjoyment is the absolute pinnacle of human magnetism. After you have built your confidence, honed your discipline, established your certainty through leadership, and grounded yourself in gratitude, the ultimate, most magnetic expression of your authority is literally just your capacity for enjoyment. Notice this highly specific phrasing from the source, calmly enjoying the passing of time. There is absolutely nothing frantic about this. It is a passive, completely peaceful presence. When someone can sit in a room entirely comfortable in their own skin, needing nothing from anyone, and simply, calmly enjoy the passing of time, that is a massive, undeniable display of authority. It is magnetic because it's just so incredibly rare. Everyone else is rushing, performing, or stressing out, but the person who can just calmly enjoy the moment, they naturally become the center of gravity. So we've just mapped out the literal anatomy of true presence, straight from the source. Confidence, discipline, leadership, gratitude, and enjoyment. What a brilliant roadmap. So I leave you with this final provocative thought, kind of turning the mirror back on yourself. Which of these 5 pillars are you prioritizing today? Where's your internal engine roaring, and where does it maybe need a little fine-tuning? Remember, true authority isn't handed to you, it's built from within. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and I challenge you to step out into your day and start building.